Hi, Mike.
Hi, Fudger.
Hi, welcome.
I forgot your name for a second.
Off to a good start. It's Ryan.
It's Ryan.
First name's
well,
Ryan.
I was like deciding whether
middle
it was
name
Ryan or Fudger.
middle name is Doug. Douglas.
You should definitely stick with Fudger.
Thank you for doing Feeble Talk.
Yeah.
First episode of 2019. So, thank you for being. Yeah.
2019.
Can we go ahead and play? I split it into two.
I'm going to be honest right now. I've never seen one,
That's all right.
so I don't know what's about to happen.
I'll coach you through it.
Okay.
It's all right.
And that's nothing to do with how the show is. I just don't know. I just.
You're not really up on the YouTubes.
I'm just busy doing other stuff.
Well, we haven't done one in like 6 months either, so
Cool.
It's all right.
I was
So
busy over 6 months ago too.
fair enough. Let's go ahead and play a minute of Dirty Deeds.
Oh wow.
Moreno Valley, Feeble, not pulled.
Well, the thing is, it's a pool, but you can't tell there's a bar sticking out there. And I hit it. We should have tore it down. My dad's in that clip.
Is that Brad?
That's Brad's
Yeah.
head right there. Yeah.
So obviously, I think many people would consider this to be one of the most influential street parts depending on you. If you ask Jeff Z, he would say of all time. So
I just think it depends on what generation you come from.
also,
right?
yeah. But this was a lot of stuff in here. Obviously, the bangers, the rail to bar, and then the rail gap into the street. There's stuff like little nuanced things that pegs to over. San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, San Diego. That was going to be pegs to over half, but trainer wanted to leave. So that took enough tries to do that.
That's good enough. But there was a lot of, and there was, I think.
I hated that clip.
What?
Because my pedal touched, and I was the only one that pedaled. I was so
We'll
tired.
get to that. We'll get to the pedal
look at those
touching.
bars.
So.
By the way, this is the first clip we filmed for the video.
Was it?
In like the end of the summer of '93.
It's nice when it works out like that, when you film your banger first.
Yeah. But the
Or
problem is
disappointing.
The problem is that was the best banger I've ever filmed, and so I've been chasing it for 20-something years.
Yeah. And then that brings us to
Caveman Park.
Caveman Park.
This one was actually filmed over 17 days. We had 17 days of filming over 3 months because it rained so much.
Yeah.
And so that was all we had. So it was supposed to be like a little promo, and then I was like, I'll just film more, and then it just turned into that.
Cool. This was 2017?
2000. We probably started filming in 2000. When it didn't come out? Yeah, it must have been 2017, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure. It wasn't last year; it was the year before. So
But
yeah.
and then obviously both songs have, I think you've had 3 songs to
Rolling Stones.
So.
Yeah, because I did a United part that was Paint It Black again. And
Yeah.
that was going to be the last thing I ever did ever.
Oh, that was
it for me.
Okay.
That was like a bookend.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm done. And then this sort of happened without a plan. It was just going to be like a promo. It was like, I'll film like a few clips, and then we'd see so many spots. I was like, I'll just keep doing.
going. Yeah.
And it was a bummer. I didn't get a few of the ones I really wanted, but we were like, got to put it out. Got to put it out. And then it's a Rolling Stones song covered by GNR.
Okay.
So Guns N' Roses.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But I've also had another Rolling Stones song. So I had another Rolling Stones song in the Demolition video.
4 total.
4, sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
3.5.
Well, thank you for doing the show.
Yeah.
Since you're not familiar with it, this is the part that we choose a background.
Okay.
So we're
It's
going to
not
run
gonna be
through.
green the whole time?
It's not going to be green.
Okay.
I don't know the order.
Okay, I'm going to pick Matt Hoffman. Can I pick something with Matt Hoffman?
I almost did Matt Hoffman.
All right.
But I decided to go just.
Okay. Oh my God.
Yeah. So this is what happens
When you Google me?
I Google you.
Yeah,
so you can see pretty much all things.
I
You're
swipe
into
right? Is that how that
BMX,
works?
stunt stuff.
That's outside of
Yeah.
Good Times. Mm-hmm.
That one's.
It's a commercial we were filming.
That one's.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Swipe right.
Swipe.
All right.
You don't even. You've never had a Tinder account.
No, I don't
There's a
even know what it
Hoffman
looks
one.
like.
Yeah.
That one's pretty. Hey, actually, me and Jason drove 4,000 miles one week just so I could shoot this photo.
That's.
Let's keep going, but I want to see the rest of them. If once I go, is it gone?
No, you can come back.
Okay.
We'll choose them all at the end. You get to see
This is what should have been a Ride cover and wasn't.
them. Yeah.
And on top of that, when they put the big photo in Ride, it was the frame before. Wasn't even the one. Look at how epic that photo
I didn't
is.
work at Ride at that
Yeah, I
time.
know you would have not made that happen. You would have
yeah.
picked the right one. Okay, keep going. No, I can't look at that. That's from Guardians too. That's pretty epic. This might be my favorite drawing ever. Thanks, Taj. It was my birthday card.
That's pretty amazing.
But I don't know if it kind of
Oh,
Oh, that's a good one. That if you can't see, but the blue thing is a broken leg cast that I had like rigged so I could ride my bike in it.
Oh,
at
on
the end,
on your leg.
Yeah, at the end of it.
Is that the last
It's
one?
got to be junior high. Is that the last one?
That is the last one.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can look at that because this looks like I'm looking at it. So let's go back and see. Part of me wants to do that, but I feel like no one's going to pay attention to you then, Fudger.
That's all
Let's
right.
do that one. Let's do that one.
That one?
This really
That
sucks.
was really painful though. So why are you all right with that?
I mean, that was the first, like, at that point, no one had really done a full loop. I think Dave Young and Fuzzy had tried that one and maybe done it. I don't know if it was before or after, but they had pads. I'd heard it was getting torn down. And so we went out to this field. It was out by the Clinton Keith pool. And it was some dude who built it. And we were told, like, hey, and before that, I drove all the way from Long Beach to get Losi, right? I shot it? Yeah, well, out to get Losi.
Because I remember him at the bottom of the clip. He's like,
I got to Ride, realized I didn't bring my bike. So I drove back to Long Beach and back to Ride. And then I drove out there and they were going, and the guy had said, hey, be careful, the grandpa there, he like comes out and has like Vietnam flashbacks or something. I'm like, okay. So we go out in the back, about 50 feet away from this, there's this little, like, looks like a little outhouse. And it's like this outhouse, and I'm not kidding, this is out of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's like this sort of like a big woman in there in a dress with all these weird trinkets covering the walls. And she had a record player in there, and she was just like sitting in there rocking. That was crazy. And so then, so I'm doing this. We had no pads. I just had to go for it.
Yeah.
Right. Which I think about it now. I'm like, what did I think was gonna happen?
well, you thought you were gonna pull it.
Well, yeah. And I've had so many arguments with people like that have said like, oh, you pulled off the wall. I'm like, I didn't pull off the wall. Like if you watch it, I didn't pull off the wall. Like if you watch it. No. Well, I was there. If I pull off the wall, I would just say I pulled off the wall.
No, I don't think you. I thought you were. I didn't think you pulled. I thought you were just looking. I thought you were looking at at where you were going, where you're supposed to look at your front tire.
That could be it for sure.
Yeah.
But here's what I believe happens based on being the person with the best view.
Yeah, the guy that.
I mean, I had Meatloaf playing from my car, trying to get me pumped up. I roll in. If you watch it, I pump the bottom of the roll in really hard. And then I pump this part.
Yeah.
And as I pump it, I just G out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even get a chance to look back.
Yeah.
I just G out and it flies off.
Yeah.
Like, which is obviously, it doesn't matter where I pulled off or if I did that. It's the wrong way to do it. I was going probably 2 times faster than you needed to go. Because in my head, I was like, I'm just going to centrifugal force. I'm going to go around.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it looks like you can't. I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if I pulled off, because I've seen people pull off.
Yeah.
Right? If I pulled off, I wouldn't be there. I would be on the bike.
That is true. You came off the back.
I came off the back.
Yeah,
I would
you did
pull,
come off the back.
I would be on. I would have flipped
like
inside, like even the way like Schaefer did it on the skateboard. You seen that on Tampa on the skater?
Yeah.
He goes off and right here he just goes.
Yeah.
I didn't. I go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even do a full flip. I just go right from there right to my back. You know what I mean? Like so. See?
So
proved it. Proved it. Thanks, guys. Morgan, you heard it there.
Oh God, I could only imagine that argument with Morgan. So. What you mentioned your back, obviously. So that's part of what's been going on lately. You haven't been riding lately because of your back from Battle of Hastings.
Yeah. So earlier,
and I didn't know about this. I knew you broke your toe.
So I broke my toe on that Battle of Hastings clip. I nose picking that thing, which I really wanted it, which just wasn't really lined up.
It was
great.
there. You were. I mean,
it wasn't really lined up great. It's kind of an alley-oop. I needed to find a better line at it. I think within a few tries, I probably would have gotten it right. But I broke my toe on the first one. I was like, oh, I'll just do this. And then when I landed on the second one, I came in, I hung up and kind of flipped and twisted onto my back on the flat bottom. And I felt like, I mean, usually in that situation, especially since I knew that was it, I would have got up and done it until I was done. But I felt like a shock and weird numbness go through my body. I was like, ooh, that was bad. And so like I threw my helmet off and Van was like, you got to get it. And I was like, no, something happened, you know. And I kind of didn't think about it again.
Yeah.
Because nothing was wrong. And then about 3 months later, I started having back problems, like super bad, like where I couldn't even, like I would ride my bike, anything that didn't require me pulling up or anything, which is not a reason why we ride so much pools, because this last year, because it doesn't require actual back muscles, right? And even then, like I have to like take it easy. So I would ride, and I mean, I couldn't bunny up that.
Yeah.
As soon as I went to bunny up, my whole back would just drop out, right? I could do it, but it would be like, oh God.
I have the same thing with sort of my shoulders these days, where I feel like my shoulders are super weak.
So like I was like couldn't get out of bed. I was changing beds, buying new beds. Couldn't figure out what was wrong because it was arguably the worst pain I've ever been in my life. Like I'd rather, like I've had terrible accidents.
Yeah.
And this is arguably the worst.
I feel like that says a lot.
Like it's arguably the worst. The only one, I had an intercostal fracture that was probably worse, where you tear the meat in between your ribs, and I had to sleep sitting up for 3 months, and it took 9 months to heal. That was from getting tackled by a professional football player. It was fucking terrible. And so this was terrible. And so I was going to go in November, I was going to go get stem cell done on my back.
Oh.
And so like I had an appointment, everything, I was going to go do it. And then I went into this restaurant and the waitress was like, "Oh, you have back problems?" She could tell by the way I was sitting. I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, my husband had back problems." And she went to this acupuncturist, and it's like he's a better athlete now. And I was like, I kind of ignored her. And then like a few weeks later, I was like, I'm just going to give that dude
Just
a
like,
call.
planted the seed a little bit.
Yeah, and so I went and saw him. And the first time I saw him, I was like 40% better.
Wow.
And I was like, so what had happened on that crash is that, I may have this, the L1, I believe, I think it's that, is twisted this way a lot. My L2 is bulged, my L3 is twisted the other way.
Yeah.
So I have like a traffic jam, and that's what I felt happen.
Yeah.
And so I've been maybe like, I go about once a week for the last 2 months, and I'm like 80% better. Like as far as I'm concerned, I'm healed. You know?
80% is like 100%.
Yeah, like as far as I'm concerned,
I'm
like it, but like I haven't ridden my bike since a little bit around Halloween. I went and rode a pool for a little bit, but a lot of that is because I've been really busy too. But I was like, I'm just gonna like try to heal and not. I've been treating it like an injury that I just got. I'm gonna try to heal and not re-injure it every week, and then just go try to get, you know what I mean? Fix what I broke that week.
Reset it. And
stuff.
So you have been snowboarding a bit.
I haven't. That's lately though. That's just like this last 2 weeks.
Oh, last 2 weeks.
That's the last 2 weeks I've been So and I take it easy though too, you know. But even snowboarding, I can only do 2 days because I've had 6 knee surgeries. Yeah. And so like on that last one a couple years ago, it's just about 2 days is where my knees like, take a break, bro.
Yeah.
But we're on a trip. Me and Jason are going out to see the boys in Arizona for some pool riding at the end of the month. So it'll be the first time on my bike in a couple months.
You gonna meet up with Jesse and stuff?
We just Pat and Zach and everybody. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I did notice on your Instagram you posted something about a car accident or something.
Like last week.
That was.
Yeah, it was heavy. Do you want me to tell you?
I mean, I guess I'm just interested because it was like, I saw the photo. The photo looked gnarly, and then obviously I think it's just, at least from your Instagram and obviously perception of the internet and stuff like that, is that that sort of stuff always seems to find you, where you're out, and it's like.
It's funny you say that because someone's like, "How does this stuff? You have the craziest life," and I thought about that, and I was like, because it's not like I'm out looking for it, but here's my only like thought about that is that I am out a lot. I'm out doing stuff. Like on like a normal week where we're riding a ton, I'm putting 1,000 miles a week on my car. Yeah. Right. So on average, I'm putting 500 to 800 probably. And so like I think that stuff's just happening everywhere. But if you're out seeing it, because most people are like at work or doing this or you know what I mean? Yeah. At school, they're like, I don't want to drive that far. And so if you go out, you see it. You know what I mean? And if you pay attention, you see it. So I don't think it's not like it finds me, but I just think that I'm out doing it. Like in that case,
a numbers game, I guess. At that point.
So because like last week was crazy. There was 2 sort of things. That happened. What happened was it was a tow truck with a flatbed, a huge van, and we were coming down the backside of Big Bear, which is a very steep grade to get out. It gets out quick, There was about 4 of us, and then him, and we could see his brakes smoking. You could smell him. We're like, oh, dude, this dude's in trouble. And then he just takes off from the pack. Oh. And you're like, he's not gonna make it. So we're driving. He goes around a corner, and you're like, there's no way. There's no way. So about 8 to 10 seconds later, we get around that corner. Cars in front of me are already pulling over. You know what I mean? And this dude is like, he's flown, like, he went off in the only place that everyone wasn't dead on impact. If there would have been a boulder or anything or cliff, he went off. It was like a ravine. The road went this way. It was like a ravine here. So he flew off. Car didn't flip because the car didn't come off the back of the tow truck. Yeah. So he just flew off, and it just looks like he went poof, because there was no debris field either. Yeah. Right. So we get down there. I mean, I get there. I grab my I have an emergency kit. I grab that. I grab my tourniquet, and I was actually downloading photos from my GoPro right here in my from the snowboarding. Yeah. And so I just have this thing now where I feel like everyone is like you can get sued for everything. Yeah. And I feel like I thought it was going to get down there. It was going to be dead bodies everywhere. Maybe someone's alive and get them out. Hopefully before the car explodes or something. And so I was like, I grab my GoPro, and there's a thing called a quick record, so you just hit, even if the GoPro's not on, you just hit record. Yeah. And it was just like the regular clicking mount, so I just went and put it in my mouth. Yeah. And I ran down there, right, because I had my hands full. And we got down there, we could hear the driver moaning, and he was hurt, and so, but the door was couldn't get it open. So me and another guy or two were ripping the windshield off. My hands
and that's how your hands go.
Yeah. So ripping the windshield off, And when we revealed there was 5 people in that.
Oh my God.
It was a whole family from the van.
Yeah.
And so these guys, other guys have now gotten, they're getting the door open, or they're working on the door, and so we're peeling it off. This guy's kind of hurt, people bloody, there's a lot of blood over here. I looked over at the guy. How graphic can this be? I'll tell a very like ungraphic graphic, without super details. But I look at the guy in the car passenger seat, right? And he took the brunt of the impact against the wall, and he looks up at me with like this stuff. Everyone's in shock, you know. And I'm looking at legitimately like his skeleton basically inside his face. So his face had been cut and peeled back. So I tell the other guy, I'm like, hey, why don't you hold your buddy's face, hold it together, you know?
Yeah.
He's got a bad cut, because everyone's pretty in shock. So at this point, people are telling people like, oh, we're not moving anybody out of the car. And I tell this other doctor who's there, I'm like, hey, you need to take a look at this guy over here. Like, you need to get this guy who possibly just has a broken wrist and people. Because this dude we need to get to him,
this guy needs help.
So they get the door open, they get that guy up. But this time, at some point, I see the engine's like smoking. So I look out of there, it's gas dripping everywhere. I can smell it. So another guy helps. We break open a thing on the side of the Go truck, and I get a fire extinguisher, and I put that out a little bit, because we're all standing on the engine, you know? And I'm running up and down from the car. I have like a case of water, so I'm like, just water and, you know, whatever. Getting rubber gloves from all my kids to try to help out. I mean, I want to iterate, there's so many people helping. This isn't like, I saved the day. Not in any case at all. Like I was one piece of a huge puzzle, right? And everyone was so calm and this is why I actually ended up posting about it. Because those clips that I showed were the only ones I could show that weren't gnarly.
Invasive,
So I wasn't trying to be like, you know what I mean? Like there's a line you cross, like this is now you're just trying to get. The why I posted it was because when I wrote, I wanted to show that it was something very serious. And it was a bunch of strangers that all came together, and no one was freaking out. Everyone was super calm and super helpful, and they all sort of took a task and worked on it. And that's why it really actually inspired me a bit, right? And so right about then, about 15 to 20 minutes in, the fire trucks start showing up, and now like every car is parked. Like there's no room so I just am like, I'll go move my car so they can get in. And as I got my car, I was like, with my buddy Dave, and I was like, well, we'll just go.
I mean, if there's
nothing I can do, I'm just in the way then, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just a bystander. So I just drove away.
Crazy.
And then, so I was covered in blood and grease. And but I've had my share of, like, terrible things happen to a lot of my friends. And that doesn't bother me. But I was like, it was the first time that I ever was like, whoa. Like, it took a day or two to get over it, because realizing how scared a family of 4 out of control with they can do nothing about it. How scary that must have been. You know, think how scary it'd be in your own car while you're driving, and you're like, I could potentially do something, but you're just like, so. But I looked it up. I ended up someone else. I put the story. Someone found the GoFundMe. I put that on the story, which actually worked.
Oh, cool.
I could see that some of my followers, I could see the names.
Click it.
Had actually donated.
Oh,
so that was great. You know.
Cool.
I mean, not a lot, but every bit helps. And they showed that 2 people were actually airlifted out in critical condition. So I don't know the rest, but and then actually 2 days later, cops all stopped the freeway, and like right next to me, dude was like walking down the freeway, and the cops are like guns out. I'm like, they're gonna shoot this dude 10 feet from me, 50 feet from me. And I'm like, this is not happening. And then all of a sudden they pull the taser out and they tase him, and they tase him again. The dude gets up, they tase him again, then they start beating the hell out of him. And I was just like, what is happening this week? And that's when the person was like, the next one was like, this stuff happens all the time. I'm like, no, I just think that you just go do stuff. You see it, you know what I mean?
Like, I mean, you're putting miles on your eyeballs.
Because you do see stuff happen. It's like anything.
Especially with the pool aspect too, because I feel like the pool aspect just breeds some.
Yeah, we've come across. I can't believe we haven't come across a dead body.
I can't. I mean,
one time I thought we did in Beverly Hills. I looked in and I was like, dead body. And it wasn't. It was a mannequin's leg sticking out on how. There was another time. This is a good story. There's another time. We're like up in the mountains, and like it says dogs. So we're like, so we climbed down this mountainside to get into it. So, and then because there's a ravine, we need a dog, and I was like, there's no dogs here. So there's there's a pool, and this cabin that is like door open. It's like a dark hole. It's like a vampire lair. We're like, we ain't going in there. And then like there's another like cabin next to it. It was like a newer structure on this big piece of property. So I walk over. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk around, make sure we're like. So I walk, and we're deep in this property. I walk over, and I see someone in the window looking at me, and my heart jumps, and I just seriously jump back. And someone had dressed a mannequin up and put it in the window. But yeah, I can't believe we've come across like meth labs, all sorts of stuff.
It's
on a normal,
it's
like
a shady
regular
business.
basis.
It's a shady business. Going into old part, new part, old influence, new influence. Let's jump into it. I think Kevin Gutierrez in
trash.
in homeless trash.
Which I think is by far the most influential street video ever. There's not, to me, if someone says like, what's that Little Devil one? Criminal Mischief. Someone's like, it's like they're just
Seek and
not,
Destroy
they're just not aware enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this video had everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Rail rides, had everything you could think of, right? But this part alone had like tricks. It's hard to, I picked Goot because it's really the whole video, but I picked Goot because I felt Goot was a little more like me at that time, or I was more like him.
I could see the influence.
Because he just like goes with it. What? We're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's falling, we're going. Nothing's super smooth. It's kind of like, I'm just doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little, it's definitely more like, rock and roll than it is like some sort of finessey part, And that was definitely me as a kid. And like, I was just like, what? All right, well, we'll pull it. You know what I mean?
That looked cool.
So like, I think Goot for sure, and he did like he'd do like peg stalls up on subs and land no-handed and like all sorts,
Yeah.
And then Goot's just a rad dude. So.
Yeah, I feel like he always gets mentioned for people for being original, but he in the grand scheme of things, his name doesn't really get like brought up on a regular basis.
I mean, BMX is an industry that tends to forget most things and rewrite it, and it seems like they're pretty happy about it. We have tricks that just get renamed. You're like, wait, that was for 25 years. It's been something else, but okay, cool. No one's ever heard of you. You name it what you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, Goot is just
I do get a lot of videos sent to me where it's like, I think this is the first ever done, and it's like, no, you're crazy.
And honestly, and there's so many things that like even I'll think like, oh, I did the first thing, but it's never the first.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe at the first time someone saw it on video, but like, I mean, look at this is all those old Austin spots, you know? But like, Goot, all those dudes in the trash video, all those dudes, Ed Koning, Eben, they all did so many rail tricks back in the day. It's where that all came from,
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw this too, I was sort of like, this is right when came out right before we started filming Dirty Deeds, and I just assumed everybody did everything off rails, and that's why I started doing tricks off rails. So like, oh, they must all do it.
Yeah. Didn't realize that it was.
No, because back then you'd never know. Yeah. This video came out, you wouldn't see another one for a year. So you're like, oh, they're doing that. I guess I'll start doing that. And so that was like, I was like, oh, you can do anything off rails. But yeah, he's Goot's right. And plus, like if you watch Goot ride, even now, like he'll just do a tail whip, nose pick, and the tail will touch down over there, and he'll just pick it up and go into a decade.
Yeah.
And like I like that, I think. And like look at this, it's a feeble on a rail. You can call it a ledge, or that's a double peg, but a feeble's coming.
No, I think that's it.
No. I think he feebles it.
Maybe I didn't put it in that.
Oh yeah, he feebles it, for sure.
I didn't put it in.
Yeah, he feebles it. It's right after this. But yeah.
And then new influence.
That's a tough one because there's so many videos that come out, but I would have to say if there's any video that every time I hear it's coming out, I go to watch it, it's going to be Dennis Anderson or Nathan Williams. But Dennis has had a couple lately, especially that last one that is just so gnarly.
We can go and play caps lock. I mean,
everything, like, I feel like this is what the video part I would have been aspiring to make in the 90s if I was as good as this.
Yeah.
If I was ever this good, But I feel like he's a dude who's still, because, let's just put it like a professional BMX riding has changed. There used to be pro bike riders. Now they're just like a bunch of guys who ride bikes and no dudes who are sponsored. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's not being a dick. Like, it's just saying like, there's no gauge for it, right? Like I've learned hang fives and this, and now I'm pro.
Yeah,
there's different levels.
The line was always blurry, and it's definitely a little more blurry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's just because you're good shouldn't mean you're pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I see anything Dennis does, I'm like, this dude. Same with Nathan Williams. Like this dude is what dudes should be trying to be.
Yeah.
And everything he does is so gnarly. And I think when I watch it to be inspired, I'm like, I know exactly where I sit in the industry. Like my time was done a long time ago. You know what I mean? And I'm very glad for that. I don't got to live like this no more, as Jason Enns always says. But I just think that like it's sort of like there was a few of us, or a lot of us, all like Van, me, a lot of dudes, like everybody who works so hard to make things, works so hard at things, and then to watch video parts and you're just like, yeah, that's not even like. And some of the stuff that I see now, like. A lot of us wouldn't have even filmed in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, and that's not saying something bad about it. Just the sport has just changed, and that's what it is now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so when I see this, I just inspire them. Like, oh, there's still still a stunt man. There's still like a dude that like is larger than life.
Yeah.
Because when I was a pro and grew up, it was like Matt Hoffman. I had a whole wall of Matt Hoffman. It's because he was larger than life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you saw these dudes, and you were just like Dave Volkers. You're like, these dudes, they're like gods. I know it sounds silly, but when you're a kid, you know. And I feel like there's a thing with pro now that kids like pros they do things that I could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Approachable, attainable.
and obtainable, which is great because I'm all for that, right? But there's something to be said about a dude you're like, whoa, I could work for the next 10 years and never do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but it gives you this goal that is so, you know what I mean? It's an obtainable goal, but only for a select few. You know? No matter how many people try, you know. It's like there's a ton of people who play basketball. There's hundreds of people every year that get basketball contracts.
Yeah.
But there's only a few LeBrons, and there's only a few Jordans, and there's only a few Magics, and that's what he is to me.
Yeah, and he's always been that way.
He's always been that way.
Somehow.
Yeah, and he's
good at everything.
And he's super nice kid, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a genuinely decent human being, which to me makes it like pretty much he's got it all.
He does.
Yeah.
And he's pretty too.
If I could date him, I would.
Oh, man. I guess let's just roll.
Are we moving along? Is this how these shows go?
Yeah, we're just doing it. Old guy commenting on old news.
Okay.
So
all right.
This is
good because I really don't know any news.
Yeah,
so
this is a segment just for you. So
all right, cool. Oh, this isn't the normal thing?
This isn't normal. No.
It
could
handsome
be.
Guy would have been a little nicer, but go ahead. Old guy, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm not that old. I'm still younger some of your favorite pros,
What's
guys.
that?
Hey, I'm going to say that again. I'm still younger than some of your favorite little pros.
That is true.
It is true.
How old are you?
Go on, 41.
41.
There's some other guys.
I'm 37, so I'm old too.
Yeah, it's coming fast.
Yeah.
Now that you have a kid, that's gone. You might as well be 47. It's like tomorrow.
So let's jump into and no offense, but old guy commenting on old news.
We'll let it slide this time.
Interbike, dead, canceled.
You want me to tell the news on that?
I mean, I just want
my opinion on it?
I just want your opinion.
Yeah, okay.
That's it.
I mean,
when was the last Interbike you went to?
I don't know, a long time ago, but I'm going to kind of blame that on you guys.
We didn't go last year.
Well, the second you guys took NorCup away from there, there's no point to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So then there's, that how was that going to sustain itself?
All right, my fault. My bad.
fault. Roger's fault.
My bad.
Okay.
Source BMX warehouse in the United States. That is, so they are.
That's happening?
That's happening in Louisville, Kentucky, home of Leland Thurman and UPS.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Okay.
Because I'm never going there. Now, with that said, Source is sick. I think what they did is awesome. Yeah. I think half of what they did in England is the venue. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That venue is something very special.
They're definitely going to have to invest out here.
In the big picture, not that I don't care, I'm going to take that back. I think that's wonderful because I think that anything that is hopefully ran the same way with that same intent of having that sort of feeling is awesome.
Okay.
I wish it was closer. That's what I mean. When I say I don't care, I'm like, I don't care because it's not close.
Yeah.
And it means I'll never go there. Yeah.
Austin Augie, Fit Pro.
I met him once. He seemed nice. I don't know anything about him.
Okay.
So I can't really, you know what I mean? He was nice.
Maybe congratulate him.
On what? He turned Fit Pro?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the news.
Oh. Yeah, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what that means anymore. Does that mean you get paid?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You get a frame?
Yeah, or a bike or a frame. I don't know what the deal is these days.
He
has a bike.
But there's also other dudes, I don't know. It depends on what team.
Yeah.
If that's good or not. Because some teams have guys you're like.
I think Fit does it right, though.
They got a couple suspects, but all I know is I saw him never ride a pool really, and then he grinded he did a pretty sick grind, and it was like, for someone who'd never ridden it, it was, pretty good. So I don't know anything about him, but he was nice. He's got a great smile.
Nice, great smile, grinds pools.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to go.
It's good to go.
All right.
Sure.
Marin Rantes is the FIS overall champion for 2018.
Congrats, bro.
Perfect.
Don't know you. I don't know. I don't know all these new dudes.
Well, and then Justin Dowell and Paris Benegas. I feel like I always say her name wrong, and I apologize, but they are the UCI World Champions, male and female.
Oh, yeah. Congrats. I'm sure that took a lot of hard work. You don't become a world champion without a lot of hard work. I think at some point someone would be like, yo, we should get better jerseys. But yeah, at this point you probably have a little bit more say. You could pick your own clothes.
Nike drops out of BMX.
I mean, that's just par for the course, right? It's just every company comes in, it comes out, So yeah, that sucks for those dudes because I get bummed when anybody drops out, especially big companies, because people always think like, oh, big companies selling out. You're like, no, that dude just paid these riders a bunch of money that then goes into BMX because dudes can do trips. There's more videos, more photos, more chances for you guys to cover stuff. So it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Maybe there'll be another time when it'll come back around, or there'll another shoe company that'll come in. But it's a bummer. I'm sure none of those dudes will have a problem finding something else.
Cool.
That's what happens when you sponsor, 3/4 of the best dudes in the world. Someone's always bound to like not be what they're supposed to be.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
Dennis.
Dennis, the Dennis is on Vans. You can see the tiny Vans logos that I added.
Is that a sticker you added?
That's a graphic. Yeah, I just threw that right on there.
I mean, yeah, he's now the best dude on Vans.
He was the best dude, and now he's
the best dude on Nike. Now he's the best dude on Vans. So congrats, dude. Score, Vans.
Nick Bruce riding for Weed Maps.
I literally have whatever. Ride for whoever you want.
If
you're into it, do it.
The reason why this is extra notable is because Nick Bruce is like the gold, I forget what it's officially called, but he's the points leader for the United States for an Olympic race. So he's getting backed.
Oh, he's a racer?
No, did I say race?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant for the Olympics for freestyle.
Nick Bruce.
For freestyle in 2020, he's like the #1 back guy by the United States. Right
and are they having problems with the weed maps?
I don't. It's just
here's what I'm saying, Nick. You do whatever you want. If that's what you're into, do it. If they're gonna pay you to keep riding your bike, do it. Don't let whatever you're into though blow your chances of that stuff because other people can't accept things the way you might.
Yeah, and I think it's more on the CBD side as well.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I don't
then
think
just good for you, dude.
I think it's.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know much about them, so.
Yeah.
But do whatever you want.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Do whatever you want. This is your few seconds in fame, man. I mean, your few seconds to live this wonderful life that you get to live. So, enjoy it.
Cool. Tate being off of Volume.
Oh, is he off Volume?
Yeah.
Did he quit or get fired? What happened?
I think he got moved via the team page or something, and they found out, and it was a little dirty.
Oh, well.
According to
that
his
happens.
Instagram.
Being someone who's been on a ton of teams, well, not a ton of teams, but I've been on.
You've had your fair share of sponsorships.
Yeah, throughout
begin
the years.
and end.
Yeah, and that happens. Get over it. I think it's like you see the way sometimes it feels dirty, and sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it is dirty. You know what I mean? Sometimes it probably should be dirty, and it's not. You know what I mean? Sometimes dude gets paid way longer than they should. I'm a fan of Tate, so but here's the thing: if you lose your sponsor, and this has nothing to do with Tate, but in general, if you lose your sponsor and you don't get another sponsor, you can't really be mad because
I mean, that's
you were lucky to have that one apparently.
Yeah.
But we are in a time though where it's harder to do that. There's not a lot of pieces of cake in the pie, but or pieces of
I know what you're getting at.
but I mean that I don't really think about it at all. It's like that's just what happens. You get over it, or you be mad at it, and then everyone forgets about it in 3 Instagram posts anyways.
Did you watch Headlights? Did you see his section?
I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen business section.
Everybody should buy it on iTunes.
Yeah, you should buy Headlights on iTunes. I know business part is good.
Business part is good.
Yeah.
Chase Dehart off of Animal, back on Primo.
I didn't know Primo was still around. So, not since they, but yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Good,
I mean,
it's good, awesome.
Notably different because he's welcomed back to the team. That's generally you don't.
Welcome back,
you don't
which is
really
great.
go,
but there's a perfect example of what I just said.
Yeah.
If you get let go from a team and no one sponsors you, then you can't really get mad. If you get let go from a team and someone else picks you up, well, cool. Their loss.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're worth it.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Any more news? This is
no,
fun.
that's it. You want?
Fun.
I
It's
wish
like
I had
education.
more. What can I? No, I can't.
Let's
think
do.
of any more.
Ride magazine losing no more print. Is that too old?
That's pretty old and that's sensitive.
Oh, is it?
That's 2017. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts, I guess?
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I think that it's hard to really, for me, maybe just because the era I grew up in, but and most people in the world, it's hard to legitimize a sport without a magazine.
Yeah.
That is a bummer.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that kids will never know professionals what it's like to get the cover of a magazine.
That
sits in a shelf, and they went through hundreds of photos, thousands of photos, you probably know better, a year, and 12 people make that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something special that you'll have forever,
Yeah.
and that's a bummer that there isn't 12 people a year that get to go get that feeling.
Yeah, whenever anybody asks me about print being gone, I always say that same exact thing, that it sucks that nobody will get the cover of a magazine. You know, like that's always
it's a huge honor,
the
and
real
it's like,
thing, yeah.
and something, you know what I mean? It's something, especially because of all these pros who work so hard. Because I mean, let's just. There's a lot of writing that I don't necessarily not really the kind of writing I like to do.
Yeah.
But I can say unequivocally that kids are more talented now than they've ever been in the history of bike riding.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And they work as hard or harder at that specific craft than just about as any other sport out there.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer that they won't be able to enjoy some of the things. And some of them can disagree with it, but it's because they just never knew.
It's hard to miss something that they never knew
had.
existed.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have their own pinnacle or something like that. Like, but it's hard to imagine like me grabbing I grabbed a couple of like Instagram posts or something like that.
Yeah.
I see a random kid, he had like 500 followers or something. He did something that I thought was cool. And I posted it yesterday.
Maybe Ride should do that. Maybe Ride should pick every month. They should pick one photo of all the riders and to put up and be like, Dave, this is the Ride photo of the month, which is kind of like the cover.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the same effect.
No, it doesn't, but at least it'd be something for other kids to shoot for you.
Yeah.
Because here's what I think.
We talked about doing that for like almost like a splash page on the website and stuff like that afterwards, but it's like,
but it's every month.
It
like
always seems like a shadow of
or
what
like
it
on the
was,
first of the month, it's like this is the best of last month, or the 31st. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is like because I really believe that bike riders work harder than most other sports.
Yeah.
Because I think about basketball players, right?
Yeah.
I think basketball players should be fined like $25,000 if they miss a free throw. Well, think about it.
Going
hold
off.
on a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Think about it. If I'm a professional basketball player and I'm getting paid millions of dollars, and all day long, and I can have the exact same distance with the same net, same ball, same height, same everything, no wind, no nothing. I could just practice all day long. If someone said, "Hey, you're going to do 100 bike shows," and I got to do a flip in every show, guess what? I'm going to pull every flip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do every one. How are you dudes going to miss a basket? If a golfer can hit a hole-in-one one time in a hole this big, 300 yards away with a stick, and you can't make it from whatever it is, 12 feet away, get out of here, man. You suck at your job.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
I don't know either. Go on, next thing. More old news? Is that what we're on to? I'm just saying.
I got a cough.
These dudes have worked hard. It's a bummer that they don't get a magazine.
We talk about doing a book, like a once-a-year thing or something like that, but...
And who said that? Did Colt say Talk is cheap? Did Colt say that?
Colt?
Yeah. Is that
Talk is cheap, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. All right, go on with your talk.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You should do a book. That would be great, you know? I think that, I think some other brands do that, and it's well received.
Yeah.
You know?
You can say Dig. It's okay.
Oh, okay, Dig.
Yeah.
Dig does that.
I love you. You're making me cough.
All right.
All right, next subject.
Next subject.
That went down a path. Let's go to craziest stuff ever done, and I threw all this stuff together, so we do kind of
the stuff you could find.
The stuff I could find. There was a couple things.
Now, before we
obviously
this air is insane, but it was also the first air that he did Toad in, and then this air that's insane because he did it by himself in the middle of nowhere.
And we could see it at the end. There's a little cut
And
together,
it's
but
insane.
I figured this is.
But I picked these, but I just want to put a disclaimer. It's hard to pick any crazy thing because there's so many things.
Yeah.
I tried to pick things that I thought once you committed, there was no out.
Yeah.
There was no doing 20 run-ups. You know what I mean? Like once you were committed, the out, or once you were in it,
The repercussions.
the repercussions were so heavy,
Yeah.
right? Where there was no bitching out on. I mean, this stuff.
And there is, I mean, this is some of the.
Yeah, there he slides off,
too,
and then
so.
there's another one he slides off, and you can see the edge is a 10-foot drop there.
Yeah.
He slides off. He
Yeah.
broke something.
It shows it.
All right.
This is the last couple.
I mean,
clips,
Matt's
but
been in charge of most of the gnarliest things ever done.
That is true. Yeah.
But like, the thing that's gnarly about this is out. I think at McGrath's property.
No,
It
not
was-
McGrath. Danny Way.
No. That's Danny Way's ramp out of
Oh.
McGrath's property, though. I
fair
believe.
enough. All right.
It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no nothing coming
Yeah.
to get you. You know. And then you got Colin Winkleman.
Yeah.
Doing this.
My favorite rider growing up.
I mean, but the crazy thing is this it?
This is the 110-foot
There's
jump, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but no, this is a different one. There's another one.
So
there's another one, right? This is
Over
the one
the
that does
semis?
it. No, there's another one, but maybe it's just a different angle going the other side that I saw. But the crazy thing is the motorcycle rider, who's actually a stunt guy, Dan Winans, I believe, he hit a cone and it shot out and barely missed his bike right as it was going. And I mean, the thing is though, with something like that, you can't, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? 110 feet getting towed, it's so gnarly. What's
Quad
this?
flip.
Quad flip. Who is this?
Well, that was James falling,
Okay.
and then because they had that dual thing, but
Yeah, and
this
then
is Jed. This is Jed pulling it, and the slow-mo of this is insane. Like how far off the back he is, like the momentum.
This stuff it's so next level that you're like, I don't care if you're into it or not, because a lot of people aren't into this, but that's not the argument here, right? The argument is like, dude, to commit to that, to get to the level and how much you got to put to do that, and then to commit, because at any point you're halfway from dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
real.
a gamble. You're like on your head or you're on your wheels. Like you're 50-50 that you might come around. Look at that ramp.
Look at the back.
Look at the ramp.
Oh,
Look at that.
that is crazy.
And like
There's
that's
no
a
denying
that's a
that
stomp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no denying how gnarly it is. And if you get flung like Stephen Murray,
Yeah.
he's landing where he stopped.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And then Matt, no brakes, which I usually think no brakes, who gives a shit? But no brakes on vert, where like if he was coming looped out, he can't tap anything.
Yeah.
He can't. You know what I mean? It's just. And like the way Matt does, he'd never done it before. He's like, I'm doing it. There was no practicing.
I think that's that's the craziest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I've never done it before. I'm just going to do it in X Games.
Yeah,
you know,
and
like
smooth,
I think that is,
and there's, I mean, look at that. I mean, you don't get Dave Mirra looking like that.
Yeah.
But like, I was in that crowd. It was insane.
I was too.
And like, it was sick. It was just like one of those moments where you're like, there has been so many moments in BMX over the years that I've got to witness, and they slowly slow down, right? And I don't know if that's just because everyone's so good, you're less impressed, or blood.
You did say yourself.
I did say this,
but this was also on my list. So
all right, so I said maybe, and the only reason why is because I was picking it off the judgment that once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
And the second you jump on that rail, you're in.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't know if you can get the flip till after you're off it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's like 50 getting flung.
And that's a whole. I mean, we could talk about that.
But on top of that, also the grind loop was way gnarlier.
Yeah.
This Jay back in the day, and actually when I put Jay's double flip, I actually meant the one in Mad Matt. He doesn't pull it, he endos, and he just went for it on a jump box in Florida, I believe it was Florida maybe.
Okay.
And he just cranking around a whole park, and then he just does a flip over a regular jump box and barely endos in. But I mean, this is insane. Like this arguably is still the best double flip I've ever seen.
I think it's the first.
It's the first,
Yeah.
but it's also the best.
Yeah.
Like he's laid out in the second
I remember
one.
back in the day that I remember hearing it didn't count because it was like a mattress, and obviously this was before Resi even existed. But the match, it had like 3/4 inch ply on top of it. It literally made no difference whatsoever.
No, it makes no difference.
Counted. But
And then this is Chad Osborne looping. I think it's Santa Cruz Park. This is insane because there's no practice in this either, and that thing's huge.
Yeah.
And just doing it, no pads, no helmet. What do you? You know what I mean? I don't even want to drop in that ball without knee pads. Like Chad, you know, and things that Chad just
And then he
makes
comes
really
off.
Good.
He actually
comes off a
gaps
little
it,
bit, which I'm very familiar with.
Yeah.
And I just some of these things to me, I realize that are gnarly because I have a sort of personal attachment to them.
Of course, yeah.
Because of something
yeah.
I couldn't quite do myself.
And
I mean, this stuff is insane, right? Now I look at it like a mountain biker, that makes it not look like anything, but this is nuts.
Yeah.
The video itself was dumb.
Dumb.
I mean, just the whole, when I hear I look at it like what he's doing is so awesome that the idea needed to be better.
Yeah.
Like you're just stacking containers up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what's possible? Well, we'll
They
stack
gotta
another
have-
one up.
They gotta,
That's what's possible.
they gotta have an angle. You know?
This
I don't know if this is the particular one, but this looked like a 20
any of these
foot.
no-handed,
Yeah.
flares, just because there's only a few dudes in the world that know what it's like to be that high above ramp, and you're upside down, risking it all. Look at when he comes in again, if it shows it again. Look
Yeah,
at that
it
back
does, it
wheel.
does.
It's just like, I mean, that's just looping out or hanging up the whole way.
It doesn't.
You know?
My bad.
And this too, this is another thing. You can't see it. You drop it on. You're trusting that your axles won't break. And you know, it's just like, that's just, to me, I think Dennis does one too, right?
I didn't put the Dennis's in
But
there.
yeah, because but to me, this is heavy. Because you just, if you're 3 inches off, it's game over.
Yeah.
It's game over.
Well, Dennis is right there, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's. So I think the ones that weren't in there was you had Dennis's roof derail 180.
The grind loop, which for me, the grind loop. I
The grind loop was painful.
Painful.
Yeah.
Everyone thought like, oh, well, you're on a track. No, dude. It was literally the hardest thing I've ever done.
Crazy.
Hardest thing I've ever done. And like, once we moved all the pads, because I did one around, and I said, if anyone thinks I'm crashing, throw a pad in. And I kind of came off and then come back, same way Chad did. And I came around, they threw a pad, and I stopped. And I was like, everyone was mad, and I was like, all right, no matter what, no one throw a pass.
Yeah.
And if you look at that clip, I go up, I come off, and then I front flip onto the bar. There's no, like, the only way through that is like death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're in a cage at that point.
Yeah, and the other one was Matt Hoffman used to do bar hop tail whips.
On vert.
Yeah. And it's like that one, it's like there's no...
I don't remember seeing that. I mean, I'm sure it exists. I couldn't find it.
In the early 90s or late 80s. But he used to do them. But he told me he hooked up his feet once, and that was it for that. So you got to think, any trick that Matt says, that's it. Because there's no other one.
Yeah.
Think of another trick that Matt's like, that's it. There isn't. Even now.
Even now,
you're like, oh, he's in the backyard. I felt like I was going to do a can switch-handed flare, so I want to do it for Instagram today. It was sunny out. You're like, you're insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, those are the ones that I could think of. But there's been so many.
Yeah.
You know, like I could pick probably anything that Mike Hoder does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was
anything
also
that
on there.
Dennis does. You know, there's some heavy ones that it's hard. But those are ones that I think like through the years have stuck with me as like, dude, that's gnarly.
That's a solid list. That is a solid list. Okay. So some unexpected ones, but some solid.
What was an unexpected one?
I mean, I think the K-Rod one, because it's such a build-up, and so I don't necessarily think of it as being crazy because he is calculated and he's built up to it, but obviously the commitment level is there, whereas like the Hoffman air was like, he was experimenting, you know?
Totally.
Like, and so
I just know that the consequences are so great.
Yeah.
Right? And let's just put it this way, has anyone else done it since? That high?
No,
there's another thing. There's a big, if you ever want to know what's gnarly, pick an indicator of things that haven't been done again.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah,
You
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
the average like big air is.
I mean, let's put it,
like
those dudes who do it
15
now.
feet, 18 feet is high. Besides Morgan.
Those dudes now, a lot of those dudes now are, I don't want to say more talented, but they have the skill level to do things on the same level.
Oh yeah.
If not higher.
Or they're more fresh. They
right?
haven't taken the beating that K-Rob took to get there.
No one's doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one is doing that because it's gnarly.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, because that karate chop coming in is like game over. You know, like that.
Yeah. And that's coming from somebody who's eating shit on big air.
Yeah, I crashed a few times in the air. I never went. I remember.
So that was stuff you liked. Let's go to the stuff you don't like.
Okay.
And now I'm almost thinking that I forgot.
I also think front flips are stupid looking.
Yeah. So this is
like that was
insane. This is the first one. So I chose some front flips.
Yeah.
And obviously three front flips.
This is not taking away anything from doing it because this is absolutely insane.
Of course. Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for that. But in general, front flips are stupid looking. On any sport. I mean, I hate that you're stupid looking on snowboards, on everything.
Wessel liked it.
You know, like front flips are just dumb looking. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah.
But I just am not a fan of it. But that's fine for me not to be a fan of it.
So it just
I mean,
looks
this
dumb?
is not the same thing as a front flip. This is crazy. I don't know what you say because that's insane.
Yeah.
Like that, it also looks different than
think,
a regular front flip.
oh yeah,
I mean,
that's a
this Nate, Anthony, you have no business. Get out of here.
That was a head bonk to double front flip. Almost pulled, but I think he does pull it.
They're just dumb looking. And plus, I tried to learn them.
Even like, are they? Because I think it ends up because I think there's two different styles of front flips. There's a Scotty one. Oh, this is
okay.
This is a street one.
Yeah. Okay, but I went to learn front flips once.
Yeah.
At Big Air, I was gonna do a Fufanuta front flip on the quarter pipe, and I worked on it for a long time. I wish I would have given you the footage. And then I put a sub on vert, I flew it to vert, and front flipped into the foam. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm going to just try one. I tried one on the Resi.
Yeah.
I did a half a front flip to my back. And I learned exactly what I knew before. That front flips are stupid. Okay?
All right.
I knew that.
Definitive.
Yeah.
If they're pop like Scotty, if they're forward like Behringer.
Yeah, it's just like, but anyways, I mean, that doesn't mean they're not hard and gnarly. I just mean they look stupid. Now, Matt does make pretty much everything look good, though. So there's that.
40-year-old front flip in a tuxedo shirt. What was next? Kick flips.
Oh yeah, kick flips are dumb too. That was just one of those things that like cool if you're into
I don't know. I doubt you've ever seen this, but this is a kickflip montage from
That was pretty nuts.
And this stuff is, lack of a better word, fucked.
Well,
so,
yeah, I mean, it's all like the thing is I'm not taking away that it's hard. I just think that it's like, to me, it's like not a real trick. It's like to me, it's like the same as like bonking a nose bonk on the way out of something. You know what I mean? It's like something you maybe add extra.
But isn't that like nuanced bike riding? Like, isn't there like
refine?
like,
I don't know. I just think it looks
like
ugly.
A fine wine.
I just think it looks ugly, like the front flip.
I don't
like.
think,
I did see Mike Saveda do a no-footed can, and the pedals spin backwards the full.
Have you seen Josh Clemens
sick.
do a kickflip? I should have pulled one of those.
I think he does actually the best ones. It's the straight kickflips that bother me.
Okay.
These ones with other tricks don't bother me as much because you don't see them.
You like a kickflip bar spin?
It's pretty it's pretty good. I mean, it would take me 100 years to do that. I'm not saying that it's not hard. Like, that's insane. But I'm just saying it looks like when I see someone just do a kickflip, I'm just like, stop.
That video I posted it like a couple weeks ago,
and it got a million views.
Yeah, like
I know, but it's one of those tricks. But that's one of those tricks that's obtainable.
That is.
Everyone can go out and learn it today.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why you can learn it today.
And then
it sucks.
Pedal grinds, and you've hated this one for like a
decade.
It's
like a glorified foot plant.
That was the quote.
It's like a sliding foot plant. There are times when I see people do something pedal, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like what they do, like over pedal, like on a sub, like with a deck.
Yeah.
You know, that's sick.
That's
because you're
like thinking of Dennis again.
Yeah, because you're doing. But to me, I'm just like, just put a peg on, bro.
What about like the very
like that? That to me is like you're just putting your foot down. Like you're like that's like a scooter. You know what I mean? Like that's just cut the shit.
Cut the shit.
You know what I mean? And there are versions of things that like arguably like, oh, that was cool. You know, I'll say like I'd never seen a lot of that kickflip stuff. Arguably those are cool, but like that. What's that? Is that called a magic carpet? Is that what that is?
No, that one's that's the unlucky. The magic carpet is like
it
the
says it right in the name. You're unlucky for doing that shit.
Yeah, right.
But like a lucky grind, that doesn't feel like a pedal grind to me. You know what I mean?
No, it's the same thing. It's the same. It's
exactly. But I guess to me, it doesn't feel like and I think it's because no one really realizes that lucky grinds were. The original lucky was just a backwards grind.
It was a backwards one, yeah.
You know, but it feels like to me when I see that, I'm like, oh, it kind of flows. It seems like it because it doesn't feel like you're stepping on it.
Yeah.
It's the ones when I feel like you're stepping on it, you know?
Okay. No stepping on it.
No stepping on it. Cool. I've just lost like 1,000 followers on Instagram. Go ahead.
Possibly, yeah. I'll tell people to unfollow you.
Okay, good.
Right.
Good.
We got audio. Last thing, instead of pro Q&A, like a
wait. I had another one on there.
You did like unclicked lookbacks, but that's essentially
no, I didn't say unclicked lookbacks. I said it bums me out that there are no such things as lookbacks anymore.
Why?
Because no one does them. People do opposite air turndowns. They're like turnbacks, right? Like a look down.
All right,
like
we're gonna have to put it.
Here we go. I'm gonna move over here next.
Right.
So if you go up a ramp, a turn down's this way, right?
Yeah.
And you come in. If you go up a ramp your regular way, a look back's this way. But people don't do that anymore. People do opposite air look backs, which is just your turn down going opposite.
Oh, you mean like into your front foot?
Yeah, they're two different ways. Your body turns the same way. Your body is turned opposite, but your turn motion is the same way.
Yeah.
And so
you're talking about like the old school into your front foot look back.
Yeah,
like
because that's a look
ones.
back.
Yeah.
The new ones are just like, I think it was Jamie Bestwick. You started seeing him doing them on vert because it was the only opposite air.
Yeah, he still does them. He still does.
Yeah, but like at the time you didn't see people do opposite airs. He would do an opposite air look back, and people were losing it. And then I think all the people who couldn't get that click the opposite direction was like, I'll just learn opposite airs.
Gary does them.
Some people do them, but you don't happen very often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just why you don't see can look backs because your feet are in the wrong position.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know what I mean? Like why you don't see candy bar look. You don't see those things because your feet are in the wrong position, you know? And it's to me that's a bummer because I would like to see it's one of the raddest looking.
So
you ever see Jay Miron, like when Jay Miron did it. Jay would do like
you like look backs, you hate opposite.
It's not that I hate them, I hate that they don't exist anymore. I hate that I don't get to see them very often.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why I was in the email. I was like, I don't understand this.
That's why I just called it a turn back.
Okay, yeah,
because you're not doing it. It's a different trick.
Okay, I was like looking up photos of like bad look backs. I'm like, I don't know how to talk about this. So
there we go. All right.
Sorry. So usually we conclude this by doing like an Instagram Pro Q&A, but for you, I figured we would do a peer Q&A. So I asked some people to ask you some questions.
Because no one on Instagram would know who I was.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
All right, let's hear it. I can't wait.
You have more Instagram? I mean, you're social media guy.
No, I have the least Instagram. Oh, here we go.
So,
I actually don't. Like, I can see other dudes.
We'll hold off for a second.
All right.
No, it's all right. You can keep talking.
Oh, we pausing? All right, so I see other riders. I'm like, these dudes have so many followers, and they're all BMXers.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Because I'm like, I know that all the other stuff, I have a lot of followers that aren't BMXers, you know? And I'm like, I have like 12.
Well, that's okay. That's
like
better.
12 BMX followers.
Take like I think two regular humans versus one BMXer. I mean,
yeah,
I think you'd
you know
be
what?
all right.
I spent an entire lifetime riding bikes and dedicated my entire life to it. It is the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's the best thing that I think is ever going to happen to anybody who gets to lucky enough to experience a life like we get to traveling the world. It's like it still means the most to me.
I feel like when you post a riding photo, you probably still get more likes than you do post something else, don't you?
No.
No? Shit.
No. People want to see me holding hands in front of a waterfall. It's dumb.
Holding hands with who?
No, I don't know. But the thing is like that's what Instagram is like. That's what the new slogan should be for all these companies. You know what I mean? Like it used to be like you had to jump off the waterfall. Now you just have to hold hands in front of it.
Yeah. Now
so
you went there.
Like the Nike's new slogan is just like just do less. Like that should be everyone's new logo. Like, no, we don't want to work with athletes. We want to work with influencers. We just, you don't need to be like surfing the wave. Just look at it.
Attainable.
Yeah,
attainable.
That's the kickflip of 2019.
Unattainable. That's Bazanzin's next.
Yeah,
one.
that was the thing.
It'll just be
what he did was so gnarly, but you're like it's just like if you want to do it bigger, just stack more. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just thought it could have been. I know that everyone deals with budget. I thought there would be like floating tunnels.
And that was, I mean, little.
I know that the budget was really tiny.
The budget was it was like a precursor edit for what he did.
And I'm sure Drew's will be. I don't want Drew to be boned on that because I don't.
You put it on his list. You can't be bummed. You said it was.
I mean, it was like it isn't a reflection of Drew. It's a reflection of how much I think of him.
Yeah.
To expect something, like, oh, Drew, you got this, but you deserved so much more for doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
It deserved to be in a showcase of like something that you'll never forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to questions.
Okay, who's this?
My question for Rooftop is, why are you such an asshole? I'll do that again. Hey, Rooftop, tell the story about the time that you tried to get me on Haro. Also, you're an asshole, but I love you.
Okay, this is arguably the best thing that's ever happened to me in BMX. Me and Jason Enns are on a road trip up to one of the Portland Dew Tours, and he is commentating and announcing, and I was watching, and I was like, dude, Doyle is so good at this. I'm like, he's really, really good. So I text him, and I was like, Doyle, great job today, man. Like, arguably...
Announcing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, arguably the best... I don't know what I exactly wrote, but it was like, you're amazing. This was really good, dude. It was enjoyable to watch, And he wrote back, because he's an asshole, didn't have my number, didn't save it apparently. Who's this? So I wrote back, it's Dave Norrie, also known as the Gumby, which clearly is something silly.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes, I'm like, you may not have heard of me. He's like, and he goes, oh, I've heard of you. And then, so I just like, I'm just like, oh,
keep it going.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it going. And then, me and Jason are driving, and we're also going over to see the BMX Museum, which we meet a bunch of other people who are now in on it a little bit, which I won't name names because everyone wants to be like, wasn't me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm texting, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, actually, I would love to get you on Haro. I just started making, and I offered him some ridiculous amount of money, and like this, and like, we'd like you to be the spokesperson for like all this new stuff, and it was, Doyle, I love you, but everything I was writing was insane. The fact that you thought that was it, I love you because you do deserve it, but it wasn't going to happen, not in this lifetime. So I write all this
you
stuff.
had him on the line.
I had him on the line, but I didn't realize. I kind of did, but like, and then we just like set up on something like, well, we'll pay you this, blah. And so what I didn't know is in the meantime, he was calling J. Rowe.
Oh, wow.
It was like, hey, I got this offer. I think I have to take it. And they were like, of course you have to take it, man. We don't want to see you leave. And so this is happening. This is all, by the way, this isn't like over weeks. This is all within like 2 hours. Okay, Doyle's ready to end his life and his whole career, which is very honorable, Doyle. And he's he's doing the right channels, like checking with Kink.
Yeah.
And then I get all of us take a photo at the BMX Museum. All these unnamed other riders, we're all flipping them off because we're all in on it, right? Like, aha. And then it just went like, he just wrote whatever he wrote. And then I didn't hear about it. I didn't think about it.
Oh, my God.
I didn't think about it ever, right? Because I was like 2 hours of joking with somebody, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I went down to Texas Toast because I was
Biz was there, wasn't he?
I maybe. Yeah. So we were down to Texas Toast because I was doing NorCup.
Yeah.
Like I was announcing it.
That,
so I flew in. It was actually right before I went to go film Ant-Man for a few weeks. And I noticed him kind of avoiding me, right? And then like, I think was where we had like, I think that's where he talked to me. He's like, he was super pissed at me. And like, he'd been avoiding me. I saw him move off a trailer. I went to go find him. He's like, oh, there's Doyle, my good friend Doyle. I love him. We've traveled all over the world together. We have decades of history together. I'll go say hi to Doyle. Most handsome man in BMX.
You're kissing his ass now.
Yeah, a little bit. Best turn downs ever.
Yeah.
And he kind of avoided me. And then I think it's there we kind of have a confrontation or something else happened.
Confrontation?
I don't know. Never, but he tells me what happened. And I was unaware of it the whole time. Because why would I think anything?
Yeah.
And then I think J. Rowe was mad at me too. I can't speak for J. Rowe, but I had to call. I tried to call J. Rowe to apologize to him, which I have no problem doing. But I also felt like I'd done nothing wrong.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. You know what I mean? Like no one should really be mad. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what a dick. You know what I mean? But then it took a while for for Doyle to come around again. I'm glad you did, Doyle. No, it was fine after that, but like he was, you know, it was, and I can understand, like not really, but, but you know, but anyways, to all the people, that Doyle is why I'm an asshole.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I love you. I'm so glad that you're not. I mean, I wish that Haro deal worked. I'm sure that sometime in the future it may work, but I think you know, I think that yeah, you're doing good, dude. I love you. Okay, next.
Oh man.
All right. Oh man.
Yo, Roofity, I heard you getting an interview today, and I'm driving, and I was asked to ask you something. So, let's see here. You know that one time that you did that really crazy thing, and it was scary? Were you scared?
Oh, that time, Matt. That time. You know,
And also, just before you get into it, Matt went on to say about 4 or 5 jokes after that ran like 2 minutes long.
Oh, I bet he did.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thank you, but
Matt has a terrible sense of humor. Actually, it was just his birthday the other day, and that was one of the things I wrote. You're so gnarly. Too bad your sense of humor sucks. But no, when it comes to being scared on anything,
yeah.
and this is just what I tell anybody who asks me now, especially people who don't do what we do. I think anything that comes to being scared is that you just get more educated on whatever you're doing, right? So if you're scared to do a 20-stair rail, then you better work on 10 stairs. You know, if you don't know how a wingsuit works, then learn how to fly it. You know what I mean? Learn the science of it. You know, if you're worried about being lit on fire, then learn the science of it. You know what I mean? Learn how the best way to be safe. But yeah, Matt. With that said, that's a way of thinking I learned later in life. Everything he's talking about, yeah, I was scared. I was scared. I was uneducated then.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right, next. I can't wait.
Wear all the hats. Actor, host, BMXer, legend, dad,
It's true. My dad.
everything in between. How do you do it? How do you keep going? What's your secret?
Oh, that's a tough one because in the 90s and early 2000s, I was hated for being a lot of things. Like I was, like legitimately, a lot of you guys knows, it was a problem.
BMX in its very core.
Yeah, really
core,
hated that I like went snowboarding on the weekends. You know what I mean? Like other pros would speak out about it. It was a problem. Ultimately, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it has led to a very full, few decades of getting to experience a lot of things. But to answer your question, Gary, is just like everyone else, man, I wing it. You know what I mean? Like I wake up every morning and I'm like, all right, let's do it. And sometimes it sucks and sometimes it doesn't. But
do you ever wake up in the morning and you go, let's not do it?
yeah, this morning before coming here. I was just kidding, kind of. No, there's definitely days everyone wakes up and is like, I don't want to do it. But that also leads to why I do so many things because then I have a lot of options, other things to do.
Yeah.
But I think by far the hardest thing to do is be a dad, by far, while trying to do all these other things.
Yeah.
And trying to make all the right decisions. But I think right about 2010-ish, I really feel like, at least in my heart, I let a lot of ego go with bike riding, what I needed to be, and what other people, and I think that has made all of the decisions a lot easier to be able to do things to an expectation that were not the expectation that I maybe have held for myself before, which has made it able to do a lot of things, because, and there's nothing wrong with it before, it was just, I'm just in a different part of my life now, where it's okay that, you know what I mean, that I did this.
Are you talking about the level of riding or the things outside of riding?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Both, you know what I mean? Like, me and Jason watch stuff, and he'll see something and he'll just say, I don't gotta live like that no more.
Yeah.
You don't need, there's a thing to that, like, you used to, like as a professional, especially at the level that you try to hold yourself to, or like dudes like Dennis, like there's a day you wake up and you're like, this is where I have to be to stay Dennis.
To sustain.
In your head.
Yeah.
Even though everyone just loves you.
Yeah.
And they want to see you do anything.
And I've literally told Jason this. I know where you're going with this because it's like we just want to see Jason be Jason, and
so
we want to, and we don't.
Same
need,
reason why you never see Brian Castillo. He's like, no one wants to see me. I'm like, believe me, people just want to see you be Castillo.
Yeah.
Because you're like, the thing is with BMX is a weird thing. It's the only sort of industry that sort of throws away everybody right away.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have an industry to come back to.
Yeah.
Really. So it's like, but there are people in it like Hoffman and McCoy, and I'm part of that, I guess, and Jason, that are like, they have this story that's continuing on in BMX at whatever level it is, and it's a part of it the same way. It's the way like Tyson and Ali and Joe Frazier, boxing. You know what I mean? Like you're just a part of it, whether you were your favorite fighter or not.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody would go see one of those fights now, or want to see one, or you know what I mean. So like at whatever level, you know.
I mean,
even if you're just gonna go see them talk, So I think that once I let that idea go, that I needed to be, when someone comes and goes, "Oh, you gonna do that?" I'm like, "Nope." Mike showed up today, not Rooftop.
Yeah.
And Mike is chilling.
Well, I guess that kind of goes back to Battle of Hastings because you actually, you fucking sent it at Battle of Hastings in the Plaza edit and during the actual contest and afterward, despite, injury withstanding, I think you probably would have said it if you got hurt or not, but I think you said it literally I was there and you said it to me. You said, "Oh yeah, this is my last contest ever."
Yeah.
Like I think you said it in the Plaza.
My last contest before that was like 2009 or something.
Yeah.
The X Games.
But like out of all the Plaza edits that year, it was you and Van. I didn't go watch any of the Plaza edits, but I was like, I want to see what fucking Van and Rooftop are doing in there.
You know what's crazy is I didn't even ride that room until that hour.
Of course.
And so part of me is like, I saw so many things. I'm like, this would have been. And plus, I told when Van asked me to be on the team, I was like, I'm gonna ride ramps. I hadn't tucked wood in like a year.
Yeah. Or it doesn't really exist.
Even that Fufanu, I did that Fufanu at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't done it, my brakes don't really work, and the only reason I did it was because Dennis was in the room, all the San Diego kids who I love.
Me.
You were in there, like all the kids, like of all the people that could have been in the room.
Yeah.
A lot of them were there. Like,
but I think they were there for that reason as well.
And I only did it for that reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that like any of them are like. I honestly was like, I'm doing it for those dudes.
Yeah.
Like, even though they don't, for sure, were never feeling like do it for us because they're like, cool, I did this yesterday, during practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I felt like maybe some sort of idea of, you know what I mean? But that was the beauty of BMX. Like, even at this long distance of where I'm not competing with them in any way, there was still like this camaraderie of pushing me to do it.
Yeah.
And like, I wall tapped a few times and I was like I said, I kind of wall tapped it. You could have hit pause. I could have looked at the camera and be like, I don't gotta live like this no more. You know? But like, I did that, but that was good. And then I never really thought about it, but if there was a way to end, that was it. But there was a way to end. That was a really special contest. You know what I mean? But I'll be honest. There's been talk. Like a couple guys have come to me that are like from my era, be like, hey, talk to those dudes, talk to Ian or those dudes at Source, and see if they can get us like a team. Well, dudes, like older dudes. And
Riley, can you actually skip to question 11?
Okay.
I think it is.
So should I stop this talk?
Well, I think it's.
All right.
Mike, tell me in detail how we're going to the Battle of Hastings this year and why you and I should still be friends if we don't go.
Okay. And it's funny because like all the dads, like you can tell he's a dad. And then like Gary's a dad there, it's like at night and they're trying to be super quiet.
Okay, so I did say that was the last contest I ever entered.
Yeah.
Right? In my heart, that's it.
Yeah.
But I have had some pressure from people like Dave and a couple other people who were just saying like, hey, we should do a team. We should be like, people be psyched. I'm not even gonna name names, I don't know. But people would be psyched. Dudes that just come out of the like woodwork, you know? And if that was something that was to come about, I would say yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would look at it as a contest in my head.
Yeah.
Right? And those are different things.
More of a demo or something?
A demo or just like, kind of like a demo.
Yeah. Because besides Garrett, you guys were all treating it like a contest.
Well,
everybody was sending it.
Yes and no, because in the closet room, I looked at it and I was like, it really wasn't the kind of stuff I wrote. I was like, what am I going to do in here?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll just do whatever. But in the bowl, I was like, I should be able to do stuff in here. And then I watched everyone ride. And I realized at that moment, they're not riding better than me.
Yeah.
They're doing a different sport than me. That's how far of a level of progression it's come to where I would be at riding that, right? Like you'd see Chris Kyle ride and you'd be like, that dude is doing things that defy physics.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was Boyd?
Hilder?
Maybe. Someone did a 540 from one ramp to the other. Like one bowl to the other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Maybe it was Boyd. And I was like, I could do that. Like that's in my wheelhouse to do. But if I did it, I'd be pedaling 1,000 miles an hour. I would huck as hard as I could. I would land like a ton of bricks, and it would be like a miracle if I landed.
Yeah.
This dude just pedals up on it, floats into the air, 540s around, lands smooth. And if I landed that smooth, I'd be going 100 miles an hour backwards. He just goes, whoop. and rides away, I realize that it's like it's not the same sport anymore, right? It's something different. But if that was to happen, which I'm not saying it won't, we'd have to. Source, what do you say? If you watch this, what do you say? I'll put it together. Let's do this. But if it was to happen, it wouldn't. I know Dave has some scores to settle maybe in his head. We all have had that moment, but that moment was that was then for me. You know, I would go because it was really enjoyable. I think that it was a moment that I'll remember forever.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went, originally it was going to be like 1 run counts. I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't really listen to the rules. And then there were like 2 full runs. I was like, I don't got 60 seconds of every trick I could do. Like if I did every trick I could do, I couldn't fill up 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just try to do this thing I hadn't seen anyone done, and then I'm only focusing on that thing. It's kind of the same concept at the old ESPN concept. Only the one thing.
Yeah. That's
which
all
I'm
right.
bummed I didn't get it because I do feel like it's doable, and I broke, like I said, I got that weird numbness in my legs. I was like, that's it. But I just needed to adjust a little bit. Where I came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe
2019. Let's
2019. I mean, it all depends too. Like, so if there was, I could see doing that, but it wouldn't, in my mind, be I'm not competing with anyone.
Yeah.
Right? Not even myself.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be to go and be on the deck with those dudes that want to come again, because
that in itself is
will be ultimately the best thing that I think all of us who've been pro and traveled together for decades will ever take away. Being on the deck with the other dudes.
Yeah.
Ready to drop in, knowing you're going to give it your all. You know?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Mike, quick question here. Just seeing what the best part about being a father is.
Oh. All right. Tadashi.
It's good making
That's his middle name.
Oh, that's his middle name.
Yeah.
It's good making all these guys like be awkward in front of.
I
Like,
know,
hey,
I
film
know.
yourself.
I know. I like his kid. His kid doesn't want anything to do with it. The best thing about being a dad, that's a tough one because it never occurred to me I would have a girl.
Yeah.
Like I just thought, like, I'm gonna have a boy. I'm such a guy. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna be dirty and jump off shit.
Yeah.
And now that I have a girl, I can't imagine having a boy. Like I literally can't. I'm so happy, because she is like everything sweet and like you just want to grab like she's so sweet. You're so precious. But then she's like legitimately a pirate, and she's like she's gnarly, right? She's as gnarly as a boy, if not gnarlier. And I think the best part is the thing that Luna does. Luna's my daughter. I could be in the other room, or like she will be doing something that she knows clearly that I'm like stressed out about something, or she's just like asking a question for 90 seconds. And I'll walk in the kitchen after her calling me back like 10 times, like, I just need to get this done.
Yeah.
And she'd go, Dad! I'm like, yes, Luna. And she'll just go, I love you. And it's like, at that moment, nothing
melts.
else in my world matters.
Yeah.
And you're like, whatever happens today or tomorrow, like, as long as I get to come back to her and have that moment, if only for 3 seconds of the day, it's like, that's the best part.
Oh.
You know? So,
that was a good answer.
oh, you'll know. Yeah.
I know. I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I'm
you're working on it.
having my moments.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, what's up? Corey here from Portugal.
that a floaty
So I've
hat?
watched you my whole life in BMX films like Until Monkeys Fly to seeing you on the big screens in Mall Cop. So my question is for you, do you see yourself actually pursuing that industry anymore after all that? Cheers.
Actually, after Until Monkeys Fly happened, I didn't see pursuing bike riding anymore. Thanks, Matt. But yeah, I mean, I think I'll always be doing stunts of some sort. I hope, as long as I can continue to get jobs. It's a constant hustle. Lately, I've actually, because I did a little bit of acting here and there, and I would actually like to do more. For the first time ever in my entire life, I've actually feel like, I've never actually said that out loud before to anyone. So you're hearing it here first. Is that I'd like to maybe pursue that a little more. It's the first time ever in my life I was going to say that I feel like I could fit in that arena and do a job that I could get hired for.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, Corey. Note though, Corey, since I do work a lot on TV, don't film with a white sweatshirt on a white background. Go. Is that it?
No, there's more.
Oh, okay.
Riley was just.
I'm excited about these. These are good.
Hey, Pova here, coming at you from sunny Estonia. Sun's not even up yet, and it's 8:15 in the morning. So, Aaron Bostrom actually said, this is a good question from him. If you could do your own TV show, what would the theme be, and what would you do in the show?
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Pova I've known since I've been like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. One of the longest people I've known in the industry.
And still like.
And still like.
Yeah.
I don't honestly. If I could do my own TV show, I honestly don't know what it would be.
Obviously not Strangers in Danger.
No, no, not that. I honestly, that's a good question, and maybe I should start thinking of that because there's so. It's a hard one because we're constantly have stuff at networks and like shooting pilots and doing things where you're so caught up in like these ideas that have to fit in their sort of box to make it something that's actually viable.
Yeah.
But to just have free range, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to say some sort of travel show. I'd like to, originally I wanted to do a show that got made actually, the exact concept, just slightly different, and it was terrible. And sadly enough, another show we were doing, it was based on the success of this one.
What's that?
It was a show called Hard to Kill. And it was a show, basically it's dirty jobs, but it was like dangerous jobs.
Oh, okay.
And it was terrible. It just wasn't executed well. But that might be one, like a dangerous jobs, because the one skill I do have is that I can present and host while being in any situation.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
being on a wire, being up and around, all those things don't bother me.
Yeah.
So I can do those things, and I actually...
Your gag reflex is real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of practice. Listening to you all these years.
Yeah, thanks. You never watch a show, shut up.
I think like if I did a show, because that's the one skill level I do have that I'm confident is that I have a unique set of wide range of skills that I'm not great at all of them, but I can do them well enough to either be entertaining or get hurt.
Yeah.
So something probably in that sort of arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll change that by the time I get outside, but thanks, John.
Yep.
And Boston.
Question 1.
Oh, God.
So here's the thing, right? Like, I know you a little bit, but I feel like if I just followed you, I wouldn't know what you do. Like, are you a pro bike rider? Are you a stuntman? Are you a professional plane jumper outer? Like, what do you do, man?
Okay.
And Glenn sent like 6 questions. I narrowed it down to 3, so I think there's like 2 more Glenn questions. So.
First of all, I'm going to quit everything I do and become a wardrobe specialist because I'm going to fix yours. That's rule number 1 as a good friend. I don't know what I do, to be honest with you. I think on my Instagram it says the world's most interesting dad.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of Rolling Stones. They did a thing with like the top 100 Instagram accounts to follow a few years ago, and I made the list, which was strange to me. And they called me a true life Renaissance man.
Yeah.
So whether that's true or not, that's what I'm sticking with.
Okay.
I'm just a Renaissance man. I'm into so many. The thing that ultimately was a big part of getting me hated in a time in BMX with all the stuff I did was ultimately what gave me the best life ever. Being able to enjoy and really open yourself to all these different things. So
being open-minded and building those relationships that turn into gigs
totally.
5 years later.
And also like taking from other sports. Like if you notice, there was a time when you might remember, I started doing a lot of stuff landing backwards more. There was this thing I was doing like fakies out of stuff that was too tall and I would turn it on the bank or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was because I was snowboarding at the time. I'm like, well, I can do a 540 over a 60-foot jump. Why can't I land backwards from a 6-foot wall on a big bank?
Yeah.
So like all those things started to like,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
You've had a pretty amazing career. You've done a lot of stuff, right? More than most pros ever have even had the opportunity to do, and inside and outside of BMX. So I would wonder now for you, is there anything kind of left that you still want to do or would like to do? And in general, for you professionally, what's next? Like, where would you like to take your career?
Well, thanks, Glenn. That actually means a lot coming from Glenn because Glenn, me and him have a rocky relationship. We started out rough, but he's truly one of the person I don't talk to very often.
An amazing human.
Yeah, I love Glenn. So that means a lot, and I also like really respect everything he does.
He's very honest.
Very honest, but he's also super talented.
Yeah.
So I think, so thank you, but like I said earlier, I think I would really like to have a little more control over my destiny, you know what I mean? So whatever that means, if that means having the success of, maybe I have a host a show that has a lot of success and that gives me the freedom to be able to have a little more control over not constantly having to work all the time, But if I had to pick something, it would be maybe a show where I host a show that I really truly believe in and love, or an actor where I get to sort of be all these different things. But it's hard. That's a hard question to answer because I like doing so many different things. So to me, that answer really is what can I do to be able to live the life, to be able to continue to do all these things that I love.
And you've been figuring that out.
And I've been figuring that out. Like that is a huge thing that I feel bad for. I see a lot of pros be done, and then they're just done.
Yeah.
You know, and because they've spent so much time committed to BMX, and that's what you have to do to really be at the level these guys are riding. But BMX is an industry that is, when it's done with you, it is done with you. There's not a lot to go on to.
Yeah, it's diversification almost, where you're so good at this one thing, and then when that eventually ends, as all things do, you're kind of left out on your ass.
It only matters if someone needs that skill.
Yeah,
and
but
I've always
said for years, when the people that, like somebody like you who was a pro for 15 years, or a Doyle or a Gary or a Dak or something like that, when they're or Miron is a great example.
Yeah,
they have the ability to pour themselves into BMX, so that as long as they find that next thing to pour themselves into, they're going to be successful at it, because they're successful people, because they're driven. You know, so
I don't ever like someone will tell me like, oh, you're such a talented bike rider. I'm like, nope.
Dedicated.
Just the trick is I just learned how to get good at something.
Yeah.
When I was in high school.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you can learn how to get good at one thing, you can learn how to get good at anything. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to put the drive in to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like when I see someone goes, oh, dude, like look at BMX, you could never do what they do now. I'm like, I could, but I don't have the drive or the will to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whoever's telling me that, you could do it too. I mean, some people arguably couldn't do it. That list you showed me earlier, all those riders you think shouldn't be pro, couldn't do it. Those are what I'm talking about. But don't act like that. But like, you know, anybody who can be good at one thing can be good at anything.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's
Good question. Oh, another one?
Yeah.
You've been around for so long, and you've been a part of and in so many videos and projects. I'm just curious, what's your favorite project you've ever done, and why?
And let's open that up for, that's not just including BMX. So if that's something, you know, if that's Strangers in Danger or something like that, you know, I don't know.
I think any project I get to do with my friends is pretty fun. I'm gonna do a couple short ones because that's a really hard one. Me and Glenn actually did a video for Low Pro. It was like this. We chased him. We get the case.
The case, yeah, I watched that.
And we did that
last night.
We did that for we shot that over 3 days in like 25 locations, and we did it for no money. And it's really pretty good. Like that would be $100,000 production, probably. You know.
Yeah.
So and I get to work with friends, and we kind of get to like troubleshoot and have fun, and there's no real consequence, just other than it just not being as good as we wanted.
Yeah.
When I did that rooftop secret pool party, that was
cool.
That was cool. I wish it would have been handled differently as far as people can see it. You know, like it was supposed to be this live event.
It was kind of rough.
When the live thing happened, the people who were in charge of live just dropped the ball.
There was that you know, that lust for live for a little bit.
Yeah, and they were just so convinced. I blew up by going, okay, I should have hired filmers to make an edit of it too.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, whatever. But I felt like it took all these generations of people that were never going to be on the deck together and got them on the deck, and that's that special feeling that I think, like, you know, that may never happen again. You know, and then at the time, this was one of the worst times of my life. But after the fact, Stranger in Danger. Mm-hmm. Because at the time it was a very stressful situation we were going to. The producers would hold things from us. Ultimately, that made a better show, but it was hard to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we'd have to be getting like, oh, we're gonna today's Mexican Fight Club, and you're like, well, you've just hired Mexicans to beat me up in an alley. Like, what if they break my jaw? Like, we'll have time off afterwards. I'm like, don't want to get my bra broken. You know? And so it was stressful.
That's real. It was real. Like not.
Yeah, so it was stressful. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things.
There's no Fight Club. That's just Mexicans.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
So like it was stress. You know, like we argued about Taekwondo. They want us to try to fight with no pads, and I'm like full contact. I'm like, I'm not gonna fight black belts. You know what I mean? I ended up winning, by the way, and they gifted me a black belt because I beat the dude, and they were not happy about it. But like you know, so but at the time it was very stressful. You know, we were eating all this stuff and doing all these things, and like I mean, at one point we were supposed to train Muay Thai with these Thai fighters, and we go and we train a little bit, and they're like, go sleep, fight in 5 hours. I'm like, fight in 5 hours. So they drive us this fight, and like, it's like an outdoor like arena, and there's like dudes, we're on the poster, people are betting on us, and I'm gonna fight some kid who's 17, has like 80 fights, and looks like a bad guy from a 80s movie. You know what I mean? Like he's tattooed. I'm just like, I'm gonna die. And so stressful. You know what I mean?
Sounds very
because
stressful.
Like, you know, these dudes could light you up whenever you want, you know, and they did. You know, like I got a good. The rule was no elbows. You know, I actually got a good shot in, and the whole place was like white warrior, you know. And then the dude just proceeded to light me up, you know. So it was very stressful. But looking back, I'm so thankful because I was afforded such a unique view of the world and getting to do all these things and jobs that no one except a very small handful of people will ever do. Like if you Google 10 most dangerous jobs in the world, I've done all of them at that place.
Yeah.
You know, we really did them. Like we did some, I mean, I had a balloon shot out of my mouth at like 40 paces with an M4. Like held a balloon in my mouth, bullet, like.
You don't know that guy.
I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy could have a bad day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could have fucking drank for.
Yeah, who knows? You know what I mean? Could just accidents happen.
Yeah.
You know, so like
That's stressing me out thinking
we
about
did
it.
gnarly, but the thing is, here's the thing is, with that thing, I was so over it.
Yeah.
They're like, here, put the bulletproof vest on. If you look at the show, I don't have bulletproof vest. I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm like,
Yeah, what's
well, I'm just like, that's if I can get home, if you can shoot me and I can go home, let's do it.
Yeah.
That was my mentality at the time. But looking back, I got to do so many things that I will have stories forever.
Yeah,
Like,
forever.
I've done so many things.
He who dies with the most stories.
Yeah,
wins.
so like, you know, I mean, I've been on drug busts in Colombia. I've wrestled alligators. I've wrestled bears. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so many crazy things. So I think of all the things that I projects could have done after the fact. That one is pretty special.
Are you and Catfish friends? Well, you guys were not friends for a while after the show.
No, we were
right?
friends. You just like any friends who just need a break. I never thought of Catfish not friends, but I didn't want to see him either. You know, and like Catfish feels the same. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was like a second season. I was miserable. I was having a lot of stuff going in my life. I was miserable. I would be like, every time we would do something, I'd be like, not a bad way to go. Like I just didn't care. You know what I mean? Like it was a dark time.
Yeah.
And so, which you would get sick of. But at the same time, anybody who knows Catfish knows that you could get sick of that too.
Yeah.
So it's like anybody who has to live together for 7 months and be in
Stressful situation.
super stressful. I mean, there was one point, I'm going to tell this story because it's a good one. We were training with some Colombian military, I believe, or like some. And we were doing target practice. And we were shooting, and I like had a misfire on the gun, like, right? Like I wasn't pointing it anywhere, but it was like, I was doing holes and like, but like here, I shot.
Yeah.
And Catfish made such a big deal out of it because we were so pissed at each other. Arguably a better deal. Like it would be like you're standing there and I went like this. I was supposed to go and I went.
Yeah, it shot the ground.
You're like, whoa. You know what I mean? That was it.
Yeah.
And so he's just making a big, and I'm like, I'm not in a good place. And so I'm holding a gun. I've got a gun. I'm holding a gun and I'm like, Catfish, come here. I'm gonna shoot you. Like I'm like, come here. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, and I'm walking with a gun. And the dude's got to come and grab this loaded weapon. Obviously, I'm not gonna kill Catfish, but I would have put the gun down and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like,
that was the stressful environment that you guys were in.
you don't realize,
you guys were on a hair trigger.
I'm not gonna
as
kill
yourself,
Catfish, but I was like, I had a gun in my hand. I
Yeah.
could see why he was like, yeah, I'm not coming over there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, like me and Catfish have a bond that no one else will ever have.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I never talk to Catfish again, which we talk probably every couple weeks, you know, I'll just call him or he'll call me or FaceTime or you know, we have shared something that arguably no one else in the world has been able to share all those things.
Yeah.
Like that's a real argument, you know?
Yeah.
You can't really say that you know what I mean? Like you could, the two people have shared similar things to us, you know?
Yeah. There's,
No, I don't, you know, Catfish is great. He's out of his damn mind, but he's great.
Yeah.
But that's what makes him a genius.
I love him in person.
That's what makes him a genius, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, is that? Oh, we do
We
have
got another
more.
one? Good, because these are awesome. Oh, who's this?
Hey, Mike, Van Homan here via satellite from Tokyo.
Satellite.
So what I was wondering
There are no
is,
satellites according to Catfish Show.
someone with such an adventurous spirit as you have, and you love traveling, you're constantly on the road, and sort of an unpredictable career as well. You never know what's around the next corner, what the next project's going to be. So I was curious how you manage that with being a father. I know you're a committed father, and you are always showing your daughter that same adventure that you have. So yeah, just curious to hear a little insight about that, and if it's difficult, and how you foresee moving forward with your career and your daughter and the adventures I'm sure you'll both share together.
Thanks, Van. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get you a visor for that helmet of yours. But that's a good question. I think once, because this is a hard one for anyone who has kids or other things, and you're like, oh, how do I continue to do what I do?
Yeah.
As long as you realize, for me at least, that whatever it is I'm doing doesn't matter on top of your daughter, like, or your kid, like whatever it is. Like there was a time when there was no cell phones, there was no email, so things just took time. That whatever you're doing, just set it down for a second and pay attention to your kids. That will make everything else you do worth it. Because that time you get to spend with your kids, you're like, oh, I want to be able to do more of this. And for me to do more of this, I got to do this. But I can't. Rodney Mullen said something in the Powell and Peralta documentary, right? And I spoke with Rodney a bunch, and I talked to him actually about this. He said that sometime in the 80s, and I may have this a little wrong, but sometime in the 80s, he was so stressed out trying to maintain his championship because he'd won everything. He was, it was always about getting the next contest and skating and getting all the stuff that he had built this castle, right? He built this castle of all his accomplishments, and he realized that he had not spent any time to enjoy living in it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, Van, if I could give one piece of advice to anybody who's where guys like us are figuring out what we're doing, is that remember to take a break and live in your castle that you built, because otherwise, what are you doing it for? And I think if you can do that, that'll give you enough time to catch your breath to get that figure out that next thing. Yeah. And I mean, we all have our days. I mean, there's days where I'm like, what am I going to do? But then you got to remind yourself. You're like, all right, so this doesn't happen.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? So yeah.
I think that'll do it. That's a sound piece of advice.
Yeah. You was expecting something worse?
No. I'm in, because I struggle with time management and everything else.
Well, at least you don't
need
have
to be doing to make sure I can live the
on the good note, you don't have to worry about a monthly magazine anymore.
That's true.
So that's
true.
Good. We got that much more time.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Let's end it right there.
Is that it? That's it? That's Feeble Talk?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Riley.
Thanks, guys.